as messy, fantastic, weird, wonderful, strong, weak, in control, out of control as you are. But just show up. We're not looking to be perfect, but we are looking to connect. P for imperfect, V, vulnerability. Whereas if you've got bits hidden, there's still damage that can be done. Vulnerability in men's work, what I'm saying is, welcome to P for Imperfect, the series where we work from A all the way to Z, each letter being an important element of men's personal development journey. And today we are looking at V, vulnerability. I mean, it kind of goes without saying why vulnerability would be important on men's personal development journey, but I started this video, so I'm going to have to do it. Let's start off with what vulnerability is. There's a definition I like of vulnerability where it's the willingness to show up and be seen, knowing that that may be dangerous, okay? And so you're gonna have to do that in this journey. You're gonna have to show up and be seen and be vulnerable, right? Because vulnerability is what allows people to come close, right? Particularly difficult for men, you know, because we're told traditionally that vulnerability is weakness. But actually, if you just look at it logically, vulnerability is where your strength is, right? We can all come to something armed. We can all turn up to places with our masks on. We can all turn with our metaphorical weapons and shields and weapons. To turn up empty-handed, to turn up and go, listen, I'm here to get something and I'm going to show you me, and I get that you might not like that, and I even get that there may be an element in danger of that for me, but I'm willing to do that to get what I've come for. Well, that's strength. That's the very definition of strength, you know. And why it works, why it's so important is because when we show up like that, that gives others permission to show up like that. And then what we get is we get connection, right? So metaphorically, and I mean that as in metaphors, so in mythology, there's this repeating theme of the walled garden, right? And the walled garden is a place where warriors would come and they would leave their shields and their swords outside and they would go in, right? And in that place, they were vulnerable, right? But they would go there because they needed rest. Warriors from both sides. And that's, you know, that's the element with vulnerability that you bring to men's work. When you turn up at a place, whether it be a workshop or a men's group, or even just showing up in your life in any group that you turn up into, if you turn up in a place where you can show your weakness, where you can show your soft, delicate spots that you don't want to get poked and prodded, and hope that they would get healed rather than poked or prodded, you got half a chance of getting what you come for. And also, within it, there lays a great strength, right? So the scene I think of is, I think of the scene in 8 Mile, right? The famous rap battle scene at the end of 8 Mile, right? Where Eminem playing the character Rabbit, you know, who's the white rapper, white trash, lives in a trailer park, all that, over and over and over again. He's turned up to these raps and he loses because, you know, he's not a young black guy. He's not involved in that world, you know. Rap isn't seen as his tradition, and he just gets beat, right? Until he tries to play a different game. And in the scene, he comes in and he has to win 3 battles in a row. And he's found out that one of the other rappers is actually a liar. He's been lying about his criminal background and actually went to a private school and all that kind of stuff. So what Eminem does, what Rabbit does in that rap, is he goes, here is what you all say about me. Why I've got a friend who accidentally shot himself in the foot. You know, I got beat up. Some of you guys slept with my girlfriend. You know, what are you going to say about me? And what's more, I know this about you, right? Now, what that shows, and so he wins. And what they're showing in that story is because Rabbit rather, is willing to show all of himself and say, this is me, he becomes invincible, becomes invulnerable, right? Because what can you do when something's laid bare? What else are you going to say? Whereas if you've got bits hidden, there's still damage that can be done. And that's the metaphor I'd like you to think about as you go on the doing the work journey, is the more vulnerable you can be, the more authentic you can be, the more you can show up, the less secrets you try and hold, the less shame you hold on to, you will soon get to a stage where you feel stronger and stronger and stronger, because no one can look under the bonnet. You don't have to look under the bonnet anymore. You've done all the looking under the bonnet. You know what's in there, and you've let other people know what's in there. Now, of course, you've got to choose your places for that. Of course, you know, you it's naive to think that you can go and spill your guts anywhere and be as vulnerable as you like and as authentic as you like anywhere. You know, there are sadly places where that isn't so. So test yourself and work your way into it slowly. You know, right now I've pretty much got to the stage where there ain't nothing I won't talk about that I've done, you know, because I've looked at it and I've kind of dealt with it, or I'm in the process of dealing with it. So I'm very willing to be vulnerable in large groups, and large groups of men, large groups of women. You know, you can come see me. I don't mind being seen. I don't mind being vulnerable. But it's taken me a while to do that. So test it out, and don't feel that you have to, like, you know, sacrifice yourself on the altar of truth straight away. Find the bits that work for you. Find the places that work for you. Find the people that you trust, and test your vulnerability, because you will find that the more and more vulnerable you are, the stronger you will start to feel. And this isn't just about vulnerability in exposure. There's also a vulnerability in asking for help. So they're the two elements I'd really like you to work with. So when I talk about vulnerability in men's work, what I'm saying is a willingness to show people your struggle and a willingness to ask for help. To me, they're the two elements of vulnerability, along with the hardest question for anyone ever to ask, the hardest three words, and it isn't "I love you," it's "I don't know." We don't like not to know. So if you can bring those three things together, you know, I don't know, and admit when you don't know, have the vulnerability to go, I don't know. Have the vulnerability to share your struggle, to show your struggle to others. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all under control. You don't have to know all the answers. And a willingness to ask for help. Be vulnerable enough to ask for help. And you know, that's such an important element, because trust is built. Community is built by helping each other. You know, it's not just I'm there to help you. Well, that's great, but that's a kind of I'm above you kind of reaching down kind of thing, right? As soon as we go and will you help me, there's an equaling what happens there. And you get true community. I'll give you what I can. And you know what? I may ask for what I need, right? I'm not okay right now. Can you help me? That builds connection. Contrary to what we think we're seen as stronger if we're on our own and we don't ask for help. Whereas the truth is, if we're with others, we ask for help when we need it and we help when we can, what we get is a group of interlocking people. And that's a community. That's how community is built. You can't have community. You can't have commune, and you can't have unity. So you can't have us coming together if we're not helping each other. And being willing to ask for help is an act of vulnerability. So in men's personal development, please think of asking for help as a sign of strength. Please show a willingness to show where you ain't perfect, where you struggle, where your weaknesses are, as an act of strength, right? Because it will allow people to see that they can connect with you. If you turn up and you're just turning up as perfect, well, I've got this all sorted out, I know all the answers, I'm really just here to serve the other man, you're isolating yourself, right? And I know this because often when I turn up at places in the men's work arena now, I'm one of the more experienced guys, and so it would be very easy for me to tell myself a story that I'm just here for the other men. As soon as I start saying I'm just here for other men, as soon as I just say I'm a facilitator and I'm just here for them, I've isolated myself. I'm separate for them, so I can't connect. So I need, even if I'm the lead facilitator in something, I need not just to feign vulnerability, to win trust, but actually be vulnerable. Let men know how I'm feeling. Let them know if I struggle. I often admit I talk fast at the beginning because I'm scared, right, of a large group. If I can show up and be vulnerable, I've got half a chance of connection. If there's half a chance of connection, we can build something together which helps us work together, right? So vulnerability, you're unlikely to get what you want unless people can see what you want and know what you need, right? So show your struggle, make it clear, and ask for what you need. Ask for the help you need. That piece of vulnerability is a massive step to maybe having someone help you with the struggle and having someone give you what you need. Does that make sense? But if no one's seeing you, if you're not willing to show up with your vulnerability and be seen, no one's going to see you. Like night follows day. And it takes vulnerability to be seen. And it takes even more vulnerability to be seen in your imperfection. But your imperfection gives other people permission for connection. Do you get what I'm saying? Imperfection creates possibility for connection. And we're not looking to be perfect, but we are looking to connect. So have the vulnerability to show up as messy, fantastic, weird, wonderful, strong, weak, in control, out of control as you are. But just show up. Show up, be seen, share your struggle, ask for what you need. You've got half a chance of getting it. And I tell you, when you get it, it's a significant step forward on your men's personal development journey. So keep asking for what you need. Keep sharing your struggle. I'll do the same. Keep connected. Hope we get to connect in person one day. Keep doing the work. See you soon. Take care. Bye. Just in time.